Man, I'm so hungry, so you guys need, whilst you're watching this video, please just keep in mind that I am starving whilst watching this. Guys, welcome to this video. My name is Cameron, and this is my review for Spider-Geddon issue 1. Finally, the one you guys have all been waiting for. And honestly, this is the issue where a lot of you guys mentioned to me about how I will not like it. Like a lot, I'm serious. And what I really like is how the cover of this comic is really reminiscent of the Spider-Verse comic cover from like 4 years ago. Like, it just looks so awesome, and it very much screams Spider-Verse sequel, so I like that. But guys, since this is Spider-Geddon issue 1, let's give a brief rundown of what happened in Spider-Geddon issue 0 before this. So we had the awesome feature of Spider-Man PS4 being featured in this Spider-Geddon event, with Superior Spider-Man reaching out to Spider-Man PS4, and what makes it so special is that Spider-Man PS4 has a really close relationship to his universe's Dr. Octopus. We know this because we played the Spider-Man PS4 video game, so it makes it that much more emotional when Superior Spider-Man is Dr. Octopus himself. And remember, he did leave that little robot in Spider-Man PS4's universe, so if Spider-Man PS4 has an ongoing comic series, I hope we come to learn why Superior Spider-Man left that robot there in the universe, or it might get picked up in the sequel to the Spider-Man PS4 game. Looking forward to it. But yeah guys, this Spider-Geddon issue 1 comic brings together all of our favourite Spider-Men from the Spider-Verse series, including Spider-Man UK, Miles Morales, Spider-Man Noir, Spider-Gwen, and of course some of the other Spider-Men. So this event is going to be so awesome, especially if you've been watching my videos since I reviewed the Spider-Verse event a few years ago. And if you haven't seen it, then there's a playlist right here. You can go and read every single issue of the Spider-Verse and catch up ready for this. So if you've already done that and you already know what the Spider-Verse is, let's get into Spider-Geddon issue 1. So getting into the issue, we join Miles Morales fighting the Vulturians as he's swinging through the sky. And one of the best things about this is the fact that Miles actually comes across as a really confident superhero. Especially if you think about it as if he's actually Peter Parker. Like, you can actually imagine this being the ultimate Spider-Man Peter Parker from the Ultimate Universe. Like, Miles carries himself that confidently now. And considering where Miles came from back on Ultimate Universe, Miles never used to be this confident. He actually used to be really scared. So it's awesome to see that he's actually handling himself and taking each crime sort of a little bit more as a joke. It just sort of shows how comfortable he is fighting crime these days. And I was actually really surprised that Miles' webbing stopped bullets. Like, is that a normal thing in the 616 universe these days? Because I don't think that ever used to be the case. But apparently it does. But after that, we get some serious nostalgia after a bunch of Spider-Men and Spider-Women come through a portal to recruit Miles for the Spider-Geddon event. And of course, that group consists of Spider-Gwen, Spider-Man Noir, Octavia, Otto, Spider-Ham, Spider-Man UK, Spider-Punk, and Spider-Woman. And the nostalgia is crazy because, of course, these are the Spider-Men and women that were involved in the original Spider-Verse event 4 years ago. And it's even crazier that each character's story has continued in the Web Warriors or Spider-Woman's own comic or Spider-Gwen's own comic or something like that. It's crazy. But as you can see on the screen, we're heading over to San Francisco where we meet Superior Octopus, which is basically Superior Spider-Man, but he's changed his name, and yeah, he's basically moved to San Francisco to protect that city. It's a hell of a long story, really, and I'm just going to assume that most of you guys kind of know what's going on. So, to give you a really basic rundown, do you remember that Dead No More storyline where Dr. Octopus came back? Well, pretty much because Dr. Octopus was Superior Spider-Man in the Spider-Verse event, Dr. Octopus used the technology from the Inheritors to make a clone of himself again, but obviously more of a Spider-Man clone, and he moved his consciousness into that cloned body. And then he moved to San Francisco and took up the name Superior Octopus, and that is pretty much where we are now. Obviously, there's some other detailed stuff in there, but that's the general basis of the story. Yeah, on a side note, I think Superior Octopus is the dumbest name ever. It just doesn't roll off the tongue at all. It's really weird. But whatever, Superior Spider-Man sounded so much better. And as you can see on screen, he's actually kept multiple clones of himself, so if he ends up in a situation where he dies, he can always come back pretty much exactly the same way the Inheritors did back in the Spider-Verse when they kept dying and coming back to life. Now, the only problem is that Superior Octopus has used the Inheritors technology, and obviously their methods of cloning. It basically means that he doesn't fully understand what he's doing, and he's inadvertently going to release the Inheritors from the radioactive planet that they're trapped on. Now, we have a little bit of a thing with this comic that I don't like, and it's the fact that the Spider-Man team actually broke into Dr. Octopus's base, and they didn't really take the chance to explain anything, but it's so awesome how Superior Octopus jumps into action, revealing himself, and it's just so badass. And again, one of the best things about Dr. Octopus being Spider-Man is how confident he carries himself, and just the level of confidence he has in his own work and how he's always prepared for every scenario. But in him being so confident and arrogant,
he's blinded to his own possible mistakes, his own weaknesses. Now, one of the best parts of the comic is coming up, and it's not what happens, but it's how it's given to us through the pages of the comic. Superior Octopus, never gonna get used to saying that, by the way, suddenly realizes how wrong he truly is, and the comic just comes out of nowhere and kills Spider-Man Noir when Marlon finally returns. Now, basically what has happened is because Superior Octopus has used the Inheritors' own technology and own methods of cloning, they've managed to use it to their own advantage and use it to escape the radioactive planet. And it is absolutely crazy. The Inheritors have returned, and the best part is that Superior Octopus was obviously there in the Spider-Verse event, so he knows how truly dangerous the Inheritors are. He knows what he's unleashed, and I just absolutely love how Spider-Man UK dies as well. It's so crazy. But definitely something that took me out of the moment was when the Inheritor threw Superior Octopus to the side. Now, obviously, they don't know that Superior Octopus was the Superior Spider-Man in the Spider-Verse because he's wearing a different costume, and obviously he's a different clone, etc., all this stuff. But the fact that Genix just tossed Superior Octopus aside instead of just straight up killing him, I feel like that's a really big cop-out on Superior Octopus staying alive for the event, especially because he's one of the main reasons why they won in the Spider-Verse event in the first place 4 years ago. It seems like they kept him alive just for the sake of the story, and that really took me out of it. But overall, guys, the end of the issue was actually really awesome. I was really surprised, and I just love it how Superior Octopus actually realized by saying, "What have I done?" Like, he knows he's unleashed quite possibly the only being in the multiverse that can kill multiple Spider-Men easily. Like, they literally live off taking the life force of Spider-Man. They are designed to do that. So it's just awesome. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this issue. Let's go back on camera and talk about some of the crazy highlights of the issue and some of the things that I didn't really like. Let's go.
Okay, so listen, I know you guys said that, like, I wouldn't like this issue. Like, a lot of you guys said that. But I kinda like it. Just hear me out. Once again, Superior Spider-Man's own arrogance has blinded him to make mistakes. You see, the only flaw with Superior Spider-Man is that he believes he doesn't have any flaws. And to be honest, that is kind of annoying because the writers have played that card so many times now with Superior Spider-Man, so it is getting a little bit dull to have it happen over and over and over again, but that's part of Superior Spider-Man's character, so him being that arrogant it's going to lead to stuff like this happening anyway. I didn't really like how Superior Spider-Man threatened the Nefarious family. I kind of want to believe that he was just bluffing and he wouldn't actually kill his family, but then again, Superior Spider-Man actually would probably do that. Now, I thought it was super dumb how the Spider-Man just straight up broke into Otto's base, fully knowing that they would be attacked if they did that. Genuinely knocking and just explaining why they were there and what they needed to do probably would have, I don't want to say that, but it might have worked. But it just kind of felt like they did that for the sake of the comic book story to lead it to a little bit more action maybe. And I felt like Spider-Man UK was way too, like, he was jumping the gun quite a lot, you know, sort of not giving Superior Spider-Man that trust in the first place. So, in reaction, Superior Spider-Man just turned around and started attacking them anyway. Miles Morales has the right idea. But now, the final thing that I did not like, and I feel like it was kind of a major thing that kind of threw me out the story a little bit, was the cheap cop-out of how the Inheritor didn't kill Superior Spider-Man. I mean, Superior Spider-Man is one of the main reasons the Inheritors lost. Like, Superior Spider-Man led almost the entire team against the Inheritors in the Spider-Verse event a few years ago. Like, it feels like, why? Like, even if he wasn't a totem, even though he was a fake Spider-Man technically, why didn't he just kill him anyway? Like, I don't understand why he would spare his life, and it didn't seem like that was an Inheritor's way of behaving. I mean, these guys have been locked up for years on a radioactive planet. You'd think that they would want to kill every Spider-Man ever, regardless of if they're a totem or not. I felt like that was just an excuse to keep Superior Spider-Man alive for the Spider-Geddon event. And so yeah, it just kind of threw me out the story a little bit. I don't know why they did that. Anyway, overall rating the issue, I would give this a 7 out of 10. It was a pretty decent way of introducing us to the Spider-Geddon event, getting things going. And I did actually find it really awesome how Superior Spider-Man realized that this was actually his fault. So I'm kind of hoping in this event, Superior Spider-Man actually realizes that he's not the Superior Spider-Man. I mean, That's why he gave his body back to Peter Parker, because he realized that Peter Parker was the superior Spider-Man. So hopefully he realizes that again. But yeah, guys, obviously a lot of you told me that I wouldn't like this issue. I hope you agree with some of my thoughts and everything like that. But let me know in the comments why you didn't like it, or why you did like it. I'd like to know what the differentiation is between you guys, why the splits happen, and why some of you like it and some of you don't. So let me know. And also just remember, I am going to be reviewing the Edge of Spider-Geddon comics. There's 5 of them, and obviously this Spider-Geddon series has already kicked off. Yeah, it's awesome to be reviewing the recent comics again. I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I do, and if you do, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button on this video. Remember, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter to stay up to date on all of this, and I did do some more videos and stuff, so if you want all the updates, follow me on there, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. Okay, so we're on to the end screen. Guys, if you click this right here, you can see the entire playlist for my Spider-Verse comic book reviews. And if you click this one right here, you can see the Spider-Geddon issue 0 review featuring Spider-Man PS4. Check them out. Goodbye.